Hi everyone, and our apologies that we can't be with you today for GCSE English Paper 2, but obviously there is reasons why the college has been closed today. So we're just going to put some videos up and some resources online for you through Google Classroom and YouTube, just to make sure that everyone's okay as we go into half term and into those final 10 to 12 week teaching weeks, 10 weeks of Paper 1 and 12 weeks of Paper 2, as we come out of half term for the final third of the course. So we're just going to look at annotations today, so that after half term we will look at mock exam feedback, and then we will go into questions 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 in the booklet, your second booklet, and really start after that, during that, but then after that looking at exam preparation for the final bit of the course, as I say. So we're looking at annotations today and the importance of really collecting your thoughts, thinking about the paper, and the sources and what you want to put into your answers. No rushing, no guessing, no hoping, just lots of revision, lots of confidence, knowing where the answers are and knowing how to achieve them. So the first thing we need to do is look at the paper and look at those 5 questions and make sure that you're confident with them. So you need to keep revising the 5 questions on it, both exam papers. They never change. So what are they? How many marks? How long should you spend on them, and how to answer them? So obviously for paper 2, we're going to be looking at true or false for 4 marks, 5 minutes. And then we've got summary for 8 marks, 10 minutes, point, evidence, explain. Then we've got language features for 12 marks, 10 minutes, point, evidence, explain. And then we've got a question for comparing the writer's thoughts and feelings for 16 marks, around about 15 to 20 minutes, PETER or VMEC, VEMEC, whichever system suits you best. And then we've got question 5, 40 marks, 45 minutes for your persuasive writing, so writing to create an argument. And then you've got your mark scheme there, which is to create a convincing argument with a clear structure, with a good use of spelling, punctuation, and grammar. Know your paper, know it inside out, so that you don't have to be worried about it. And then you can focus on your reading, which is, again, what we're going to look at today. So, reading the sources for meaning. First thing you should do in the exam for paper 2 is look at question 2. Look at question 2 because it will give you some information, so you're not reading and trying to discover what the pieces are about as you read them. Question 2 is subject only, so of course it'll tell you what they are about. So have a quick look at question 2, and it will give you obviously it will allow you to see question 2 in advance, so you know what information you can highlight in the sources, so that you're best prepared and ready to answer that question when you get to it. But also it'll tell you what they're about, so that, and if they're similar or different, and then you already can set that in your mind as you're reading it. You'll know roughly what you're reading and what to look for. Please take all 15 minutes. You get 15 minutes to read the sources. Obviously, paper 1, there's only 1 source. Paper 2, there's 2 sources, so you may need more than 15. But don't rush. Take at least 15 minutes. Read carefully and do our skim and scanning that we started off the year with. Skim it quickly, and then you can scan it thoroughly, going paragraph by paragraph, and just collecting your thoughts as you go. So collect those annotations, collect your opinions. It's your opinions that's going to pass GCSE. So the more you have and the deeper they are about what you've read, the more chance you've got of passing. It'll help you avoid misreading, but it'll also allow you to collect really good, deep thoughts on the 2 things that you should be looking for. The first one being the writer. Who wrote it? Are they happy, sad? Are they experienced? Is it their first time? Are they positive, negative? What do you know about the person who created it? What are their thoughts and feelings? That's going to directly link into question 4. And also, what are they talking about? Okay, what is the point of the thing they are talking about? Because that's also directly linked to question 2, which, of course, if you've looked at it first, you already know. But those are the 2 key things you need to be getting out of your reading. Who is it? How do they feel? And what are they talking about? And remember that feelings change. There will always be points in the story, paper 1, paper 2, both, where they are positive, negative, happy, sad, confident, under threat, life-threatening situation, whatever it is. So don't think it's just positive or just negative. It will always be both. Remember that the quality of your reading will determine the quality of your writing. You'll have good things to say if you read it really well. So make sure you do spend some time on your reading, please. Okay, tell the examiner what you think about what you have read. That's our key thing for the reading section in both papers. We already know the sources, we get the mark scheme, we already know what we think of it. That's not the test. The test isn't the source. The test is what you think of the source. And we need to see that in your responses for questions 2, 3, and 4, please. So don't just repeat the source. Don't just repeat it back to us with long quotes. And don't give us kind of shallow thoughts. He was happy. He was sad. Why? Really do dig into why. What's going on? Why? What do you think? Really be confident, express yourself, and get your thoughts into your answers. It's the most important skill. Use the quotes and the terminology to back up what you think. So know your passing levels. What are you trying to achieve in your answers for questions 2, 3, and 4? Level 3, level 4. So level 3, clear and relevant. You are clearly explaining with relevant terminology and relevant quotes. So you're explaining why the character's doing this, or the writer's doing that, or thinking this, or doing that, in your own thoughts and words. Level 4, detailed and perceptive. So you're going beyond just explaining the story in your own words to questioning the story in your own words. So analyze why in your own thoughts and words, and think about answering these questions. How does the writer manage in the situations in which they find themselves, in which they're dealing with? Are they happy, sad, scared, confident, negative? Why? And why did they write it in the first place? What's the moral of the story? What's the overall big picture and the point that they're trying to get across to you and share with you? Why are they writing this for you? What are you taking away as the reader from their experiences and their opinions? Okay, so when it comes to collecting your thoughts on the page, we're going to use annotations for the sources. Collect your ideas. Your ideas and your thoughts are the most valuable thing because it's about you, not the source. It's your thoughts on the source. So everyone gets the same thing. It's not the source that we care about. It's what you put into your answers about what you think of it. That's the ultimate test, and it's what you're being judged on. So lots of thoughts, lots of opinions, backed up with quotes and terminology. Highlight as you go. You may use highlighters. You may write in the margins and collect your thoughts in each paragraph. You may circle words. You may underline them. You may just read it and write a brief bullet point list or scattered notes at the bottom to collect your thoughts. But whichever works best for you, please do it and collect your thoughts. Okay, it is the most important skill. So we've looked at the mark scheme, we've looked at what to get out of your reading, we've talked about how to start the exam by reading question 2 as an exam technique, your timing of 15 minutes, how to hit your levels, level 3, level 4, and how to annotate. So now we need to take these things and put them all together so that we can go into the week after half term, which will be feedback week. And then after those in your booklet, knowing how to build on these skills. Let's not go week to week. Let's build through the last 10, 12 teaching weeks of the course after half term and really go into the exam ready to go, really confident, really clear on what's requested of you. So what I want to do is read out the sources from booklet 2. They will be in your booklet in the classroom. They are on Google Classroom already. Please take some time to annotate these and think about what you think the writer is trying to say and express to you as the reader. And then we'll go over it together in class in a couple of weeks' time. Source A. This is an article published in the Guardian newspaper in 2016. The writer Stuart Heritage explores how he feels now that his son is a year old. How can my son be a year old already? He's growing up fast, leaving milestones in his wake, and tiny parts of me along with them. My son turned 1 last week. The day marked the end of what has been both the longest and shortest year of my life. From the instant he was born, it's felt as if my son has always been a part of this family. I don't mean that in an obnoxious, hard-eyed, this was always meant to be way. I simply mean that I haven't slept for a year, and I don't really know how time works anymore. Whole years have passed, and some of the afternoons I've spent with him lately. Entire galaxies have been born and thrived and withered and died in the time it's taken him to eat a mouthful of porridge. How is he at 1 already? First, He was born, and then I blinked, and now in his place is a little boy who could walk, and his teeth, and knows how to switch off the television at precisely the most important moment of anything I ever tried to watch. It's not exactly the most unprecedented development in all of human history. Child gradually gets older, but it's the first time I've seen it close up. It's honestly quite hard to grasp. A year ago, he was a sleepy ball of scrunched up flesh, but it is now determinedly his own person. I can see everyone in him, me, my wife, my parents, yet he's already separate from all of us. He's giddy and silly. He's a show-off, albeit one who's irrationally terrified of my dad. He loves running up to people and waiting for them to twang his lips like a ruler on a table. When he gets tired and barks gibberish in the middle of the room, he throws his entire body into it like he's trying to shove the noise up a hill. With every tiny development, every new step he takes, every new tooth and sound and reaction that comes along to ambush us, we're confronted with a slightly different child. Photos of him taken in the summer seem like dispatches from a million years ago. Photos of him taken last week seem like a different boy. He's blasting ahead as far as he can. He's leaving milestone after milestone in his wake and tiny parts of me along with him. He'll never again be the tiny baby who nestled into the crook of my arm, sucking on my little finger in the middle of the night while his mum slept. Nor will he be the baby amazed by the taste and texture of solid food. Soon enough, he'll stop being the baby who totters over and rests his head on my shoulder whenever he gets tired, or laughs uncontrollably whenever I say the word teeth for reasons I don't think I'll ever work out. But I've had a year of this, and it's okay. He's never going to stop changing, and I don't want him to. This sadness, this constant sense of loss, of time slipping just beyond your grasp, is an important part of the process. He won't realise this, of course. He's got years of unbroken progress ahead of him, where everything will always be new, and he'll keep obliviously brushing away all of the silly old fools who tell him how much he has grown. One day it will creep up on him. Years of his life will pass in a moment, and he won't be able to understand where they've gone. But it's okay. You can't hoard time. You just have to make the most of what you have. Source B. This is an extract from a Victorian newspaper article in the 1800s. The writer explores how she feels now that her son has grown up. Boy lost. He had black eyes, with long lashes, red cheeks, and hair almost black and almost curly. He wore a crimson plaid jacket with full trousers buttoned on, had a habit of whistling, and liked to ask questions. He was accompanied by a small black dog. It is a long while now since he disappeared. I have a very pleasant house and much company. My guests say, it's pleasant to be here. Everything has such an orderly, put-away look. Nothing about underfoot, no dirt. But my eyes are aching for the sight of cut paper on the floor, of tumble-down card houses, of wooden sheep and cattle, of pop guns, bows and arrows, whips, tops and go-karts. I want to see crumbs on the carpet and paste spilt on the kitchen table. I want to see chairs and tables turned the wrong way about. Yet these things used to fret me once. They say how quiet you are here. One here may be at peace. But my ears are aching for the pattering of little feet, for a hearty shout, a shrill whistle, or for the crack of little whips, for the noise of drums and tin trumpets. Yet these things made me nervous once. They say, you're not tied at home. How delightful to be always at liberty for concerts, lectures and parties. No responsibilities for you. But I want responsibilities. I want to listen for the school bell of mornings, to give the last hasty wash and brush, and then to watch from the window nimble feet bounding away to school. I want to replace lost buttons and obliterate mud stains, fruit stains, treacle stains, and paints of all colours. I want to be sitting by a little crib of evenings when weary little feet are at rest and prattling voices are hushed, that mothers may sing their lullabies. They don't know their happiness then, those mothers. I didn't. All those things I called responsibilities once. A manly figure stands before me now. He is taller than I, with thick black whiskers, and wears a frock coat, billowy shirt and cravat. He has just come from college. He calls me mother, but I am rather unwilling to own him. He stoutly declares that he is my boy, and says he will prove it. He brings me his little boat to show, the red stripe on the sail, and the name on the stern, Lucy Lowe, our neighbour's little girl, who, because of her long curls and pretty round face, was the chosen favourite of my little boy. How the red comes to his face when he shows me the name on the boat. And I see it as plain as if it were written in a book. My little boy is lost, and my big boy will soon be. I wish he were still a little boy in a long white nightgown, lying in his crib with me sitting by, holding his little hand in mine, pushing the curls back from his forehead, watching his eyelids droop, and listening to his deep breathing. If I only had my little boy again, how patient I would be. How much I would bear, and how little I would fret and scold. I can never have him back again, but there are still many mothers who haven't yet lost their little boys. I wonder if they know they are living their very best days, that now it is the time to really enjoy their children. I think if I had been more to my little boy, I might now be more to my grown-up one. Okay, so we've read the sources and we've looked at the importance of reading for meaning. So just to recap on those, 15 minutes, read question 2 first, and in those 15 minutes, look for the writer, how they feel, who they are, what we know about them, and the subject. What are they talking about? How do they feel about the things they are talking about? The more you do that, and the more you collect your thoughts, the higher your mark can go when you express your opinions of those things. So tell us about what you think about what you've read. It's not about the paper, it's about what you think of the paper. Hit your passing levels, level 3, level 4, and annotate in whichever way you think best to allow you to capture your thoughts. And the better you do on annotations and collecting your thoughts, the more confident you can be and should be in expressing your opinion in your answers. Okay, so there's the sources, and that's how we annotate. Thank you very much.